What if I told you that somewhere deep inside the Amazon rainforest, there could be snakes so enormous that their bodies might stretch farther than a city bus? It sounds like something from a horror movie, but stories of giant anacondas have existed for generations. Explorers, local communities, and travelers have all described seeing enormous snakes disappearing beneath the dark waters. So are these stories simply exaggerated? Or could something truly massive still be hiding in the Amazon? The Amazon rainforest is one of the largest and most mysterious ecosystems on Earth. It stretches across millions of square miles and contains an incredible variety of rivers, wetlands, forests, and hidden waterways. Scientists continue to discover new species in this enormous environment. And among all the creatures living there, few are more impressive than the Green Anaconda. It is already one of the largest snakes on the planet. But that leads to a fascinating question. Before we talk about legendary monsters, let's look at the real animal. The Green Anaconda is the heaviest living snake species known to science. Large individuals can reach around 20 feet or more in length, while exceptionally heavy specimens can weigh hundreds of pounds. They are perfectly adapted to life around water. Anacondas can move through swamps, rivers, flooded forests, and muddy wetlands almost silently. They don't rely on venom to kill their prey. Instead, they use their incredible muscular strength. Once an anaconda grabs an animal, it can wrap its powerful body around the prey and tighten its coils. And escaping from those coils can be nearly impossible. If the normal anaconda can become this huge, could an even larger one be hiding somewhere deep in the jungle? But this is where the story becomes much more mysterious. For decades, people have reported seeing anacondas much larger than the biggest scientifically confirmed individuals. Some eyewitnesses have claimed to see snakes approaching 30 feet long. Others have described enormous serpents that appeared even larger. There are stories of snakes so thick that, from a distance, they looked almost like fallen tree trunks moving through the water. And in the Amazon, judging the size of an animal can be extremely difficult. A snake may be partly underwater, surrounded by vegetation, or several meters away from the observer. That makes accurate measurement almost impossible. Still, the stories continue. Amazonian communities have passed down legends about enormous serpents connected to rivers and waterways for generations. Different regions have different versions of these stories, but many share one common idea: a giant snake living in the dark waters, rarely seen by humans, and far larger than an ordinary anaconda. But are these legends describing real animals? During the early 20th century, stories about giant anacondas became popular among explorers and adventurers. Some expeditions entered remote parts of South America hoping to find evidence of enormous snakes. There were even famous claims involving rewards for anyone who could provide proof of an anaconda measuring more than 30 feet. After these claims became known, reports began appearing from different locations. People described huge snakes in rivers, swamps, and remote jungle areas. But there was always one major problem. The evidence was never strong enough. Photographs were often blurry. The snakes were usually partly hidden, and there was almost never a reliable object nearby that could be used to measure their actual size. Or did the stories become larger every time they were retold? Without a verified specimen, scientists couldn't determine whether these snakes were truly enormous or simply appeared that way because of perspective. And yet, the reports never completely stopped. So if giant anacondas really exist, why hasn't anyone produced undeniable proof? One possible answer is the environment itself. The Amazon is enormous. Its forests are incredibly dense, its waterways can stretch for miles, and many areas are extremely difficult for humans to reach. Imagine trying to search every river, swamp, and flooded forest for an animal that spends much of its life hiding in dark water. Even if an unusually large snake existed, finding it would be incredibly difficult. A massive animal could remain hidden beneath vegetation or disappear underwater before anyone could get close enough to measure it. And scientists still discover new species in remote areas of the Amazon today. That doesn't prove giant anacondas exist, but it does show just how much remains unknown. But there is another side to the mystery. Science tells us that there are limits to how large a snake can become. A larger body requires more food, more energy, and enough space to survive. The animal would need a steady supply of prey and an environment capable of supporting its enormous size. Temperature, metabolism, habitat, and competition with other predators would all matter. So while an unusually large anaconda is possible, a population of truly gigantic snakes would be much harder to explain. And this is why scientists remain skeptical of the most extreme stories. There is currently no verified scientific evidence showing that 40-foot green anacondas are living in the Amazon today, but nature has surprised scientists before. Then there are the videos. Every few years, a new clip appears online showing what seems to be an enormous snake moving through a river, and the Amazon remains one of the few places where the unknown is still very real. Some of these videos show genuine large anacondas. Others are difficult to identify because there is nothing nearby to provide a reliable sense of scale. A snake filmed from a distance can look much larger than it really is. Water can also distort its body, while camera angles can make a long animal appear even more enormous. Some videos are eventually explained. Others remain difficult to verify. We see a dark shape moving through the water. The surface suddenly begins to ripple. A massive body appears for a moment, and then it disappears beneath the surface. No measurement, no clear evidence, just a mysterious recording that leaves people asking the same question: what exactly was that? So what is the truth about giant anacondas? Are these enormous snakes real? Or are they simply legends that became more dramatic with every generation? The truth may be somewhere in between. We know green anacondas are real. We know they can become extremely large and powerful. And we know the Amazon contains enormous areas that are difficult to explore. But the legendary snakes measuring 30, 40, or even more feet remain unproven. Until someone produces reliable evidence, the biggest claims must remain stories rather than scientific fact, and perhaps that's what makes the mystery so fascinating. The Amazon is still one of the greatest mysteries on Earth. Every river, swamp, and flooded forest contains the possibility of something we haven't seen before. So the next time you think we've already discovered everything, remember the places humans rarely reach. Somewhere beneath the dark waters of the jungle, an enormous snake could still be moving silently through the shadows. Maybe it's only a legend. Maybe it's an animal we've misunderstood, or maybe something truly massive is still waiting to be discovered.